Well, welcome back everybody. Let's give this Monday live stream thing another try. Thank you so much for being patient with us. Looks like we might have a couple of bad cables, so with any luck, fingers crossed, we can get through today's live stream. I'm going to start it again. I'm going to start this little Crabapple project from the beginning, all over again. It's such a small little scrap project, I figured why not. Before we get going, I just want to send out a few thank yous. I want to thank Jojo, Kevin, and Dee Marie for their super membership milestones from the previous attempt at a live stream this morning. And I'd like to thank Joanne, Rita, Christine, Joyce, and Joya for picking up the pattern in our Etsy shop. We had so many issues with the previous stream. We're just going to remove it at some point just so people don't get confused. So we are making little stuffed crab apples today. These little sweeties to be exact. You can use any fiber you want. I recommend a size 3 lightweight or a size 4 medium weight yarn, about 10 yards for the red or any crabapple-y color you want, and maybe about a yard for the brown, nothing fancy. Stitch marker, handy, keeps track of that first stitch of the row. Pair of scissors, yarn needle. I'm using a G6 or a 4mm hook. Your hook might also say 4.25 millimeters. That's fine. No biggie. And you're going to want a little itty bitty bit of stuffing. I'm just going to use some scrap yarn that I've got here in my yarn bowl. And that's it. Let's get going, my dears. I'm going to move along through this project as not fast, but just at a good clip. Nobody sneeze. I don't want to mess up any of our cable connections. Okay. We are going to begin with a cinch circle. So I'm going to start with a little crossed loop, chain one. The chain one secures everything, and now I can get right into adding stitches to my first row. All single crochets are worked over the little short tail. There are 6 single crochets to work into the circle to begin. 6 single crochet into the cinch circle, and I like to try and count as I crochet, but sometimes I get confused. There we go, that's 6. Once you have 6, take the little short tail, cinch it up nice and tight. I'm going to leave the tail out because it's just going to wind up inside the little crab apple, which is fine. Into the first stitch of row 1, we're going to work the first 2 stitches of row 2. This project is a continuous work in the round, so we're not joining our rows with a slip stitch. We're not chaining 1 to begin the new row. We're just working a continuous circle. So 2 single crochet into that first stitch. That's going to be the first 2 stitches of row 2. I always find those first 2 stitches are a little tight, but that's okay. I'm going to get them both in there, and then I'm going to go back, grab my stitch marker, and I'm going to mark the first of those 2 stitches because that is the first stitch of row 2. Glad you guys are all here. Oh my gosh, Sue. Sakura Sue with an adorable super sticker. Thank you so much. I love that little puppy. He looks like he's doing a little fan dance for us. I love it. Thank you so much. Kimberly's wondering if we've ever crocheted a star baby cocoon. I can safely say I have not. I guess that would basically be like the starburst blanket, but turned into a bit of a cocoon. Marty, thank you for picking up some patterns. Nice idea though, I'll add it to the list. I'm using a size 3 lightweight yarn, but you can use a size 4 medium weight yarn. Any fiber is fine. Alicia for popping in and asking, and it's a 4mm hook, also known as a G6. 2 single crochet in each stitch all the way around for row 2. So in row 1 we had 6 single crochet worked into that little cinch circle, cinched up nice and tight. No joining of rows. Karen, thank you so much for picking up a pattern. And we are working 2 single crochet in each stitch all the way around for row 2. That stitch marker tells me that I'm back at the beginning. You'll have 12 stitches at the end of row 2. And here we go. Sakura Sue with a membership milestone as well. Thank you, Sue. She says, oh, let me see if I can do this. Ganbate? Ganbate means good luck in Japanese. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Miss y'all, and will listen as I drive. Ah, a little road trip. How nice. Thank you so much, Sue. Ganbate. Did I say, I bet you I pronounced that terribly. Not like I have any familiarity with speaking Japanese, but I love it. Good luck. We could use it. Let's hope those cords stay where they're supposed to. To begin row 3, we are going to start with 2 single crochet into what was the first stitch of row 2. I'm going to mark the first of those 2 stitches with my stitch marker. So that is stitch number 1 of row 3. 2 single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet once into the next stitch, and then 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around. We are going from 12 stitches at the end of row 2 to 18 stitches at the end of row 3.
You pronounced it perfectly.
I did? Oh wow, I'm really happy to hear that. Ganbatte. All right. I'm going to start saying that. I like that. Good luck is always something we could all use more of. 2 single crochet followed by 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, all the way around. That'll take us from 12 stitches to 18. And if you get confused, that stitch marker tells you you're all the way back at the beginning. You can pause and count up your stitches. I'm going to make sure I don't end up with a knot in my yarn here. There we go. So there's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 is the one that your loop is coming out of. All right, that's the end of row 3. Rows 4, 5, 6, and 7 are just single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So I'm going to work the first 2 stitches of the row. Again, we're not increasing anymore, just single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Marking that first stitch of the row with my stitch marker, so that's stitch 1 of row 4. And it's just single crochet in every stitch. We'll still have 18 stitches at the end of every row. For rows 4, 5, 6, and 7, I'm diligently trying to keep a knot from happening in my yarn here. There we go. And you can just work around and around and around for 4 rows. So 18 stitches at the end of row 4, 18 stitches at the end of row 5, row 6, and row 7. I'm just finishing up row 4 here. You're going to notice that your little circle will start to turn into a ball. If it doesn't turn into, if the edges don't really turn up at the end of row 4 like mine, that's okay. It just might mean that your tension's a little looser than mine. But it will start to turn into a ball. So I'm going to again do the first 2 stitches of row 5, mark the first stitch, so that's the beginning of row 5, single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Sakurasu says, Ganbatte is a Japanese expression that means do your best, preserve, or good luck. Do your best. I like that. Do your best. Please do your best. Please do your best. Ganbatte kudasai. Kudasai means please do your best.
With what they have, with what you have.
With what you have. Wow, I love that.
Yeah,
that's
good philosophy.
Good philosophy. Please do your best with what you have. Well, that's exactly what we're trying to do.
With the equipment we have.
With the equipment we have. Many of you know that we got ourselves a new computer, and so we're in the process of just sort of like switching things over, and we needed some new cables, you know, all the stuff that comes with new hardware. And it looks like we might have a couple of faulty cables. So Regina was saying, I hope you kept the receipts. Yes, we did. All right, I'm busy crocheting along. I think I've just finished row 6. Let me just check. So there's row 1 at the bottom. It's that cute little circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have one more row to go of just straight single crochet. I am not increasing. I'm just working single crochets in each stitch all the way around. So that's the first 2 done. I'm going to mark the first of that. So now I'm on to row 7. Yes, we're all learning a little Japanese. You never know what's going to happen in a live stream. This is why I love them so much. Everybody brings nifty stuff to the table. All right, that is the end of row 7. I still have 18 stitches. At the end of row 7, we want to even up our stitches. So what does that mean? Well, if you see where row 1 here turns into row 2, if you track up, you're going to see that you're about 4 stitches back. That's because every time you increase, you kind of put your starting spot back a stitch. It's just part of the math. It's no big deal. So we're going to increase, I should say, we're going to single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. That doesn't change our stitch count. So we'll still have 18 stitches all the way around. You should have kind of a bit of a bowl or a ball happening. A bowl or a ball. Boy, it's a lot of blah, 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 bees. Your side should have turned up. And now we're just going to start to close it in. So that's the whole body of the little crab apple. And row 8 is the first time that we do some decreasing. So what we're going to do is we're going to work 2 single crochet together. Now you can do the 2 single crochet together stitch any way you want. I kind of like this new kind of tighter version that I recently learned, thanks to all of you, by just inserting your hook through the front loop of the next stitch and then the front loop of the stitch after that, and then single crocheting. So you've single crocheted 2 stitches together, single crochet into the next stitch as normal. I'm going to mark that first stitch with my stitch marker, single crochet 2 stitches together, single crochet into the next stitch, and you're going to do this single crochet 2 together, single crochet into the next stitch 6 times total, and that'll take us back from 18 stitches at the end of row 7 down to 12 stitches at the end of row 8. So we're decreasing and we're closing in the top of our little crab apple. There we go. That brings me back to my stitch marker. So I know I'm back down to 12, and you've got a cute little round ball thing happening here. Let's stuff our little crab apple. So I'm going to take out the stitch marker, pull up on the loop so that it doesn't undo on me. And I just have a little tiny bit. Sakura Sue, thank you so much. Holy cow, for picking up a whole pile of patterns at the shop. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Goodness gracious. Thank you very, very much. Anna Victoria made it. Hello. Don't worry. We actually are having a... we've been having quite a technical day today, but we're all back. Mela looks forward to Mondays now. You know what? I like Mondays now too, that we do this little live stream. It certainly helps change the perspective of Monday. I love it when the live stream goes according to plan. That makes a Monday even better. All right, that's about all I'm going to put in there. I don't want to make it too overstuffed because I don't want to stretch out my stitches. And I also want the bottom to be a little on the flat side because we're going to do a little bit of shaping later. So let's do a row of decreasing yet again. So that was the end of row 8. You're down to 12. For row 9, you're going to single crochet 2 stitches together all the way around. You'll come back down to 6 stitches. So I'm going to single crochet the first 2 stitches together. And I'm going to mark that with my stitch marker. Now I'm going to single crochet the next 2 stitches together, and I'm kind of taking my time. I'm holding the whole thing between my fingers as I work on those decrease stitches. I'm kind of keeping my finger on that stuffing to keep it from wanting to kind of squeeze out. So that's 3 decreases. Exact stitch count does not matter if you find that you're 1 off or even 2 off. Don't worry your heads about it. There we go. If you've got a little bit of a hole here and you feel like your little apple needs a little bit extra stuffing, you can tuck a little bit more in there. I'm just going to tuck a little bit more into the top. But you want it to be a little on the squishy side. because we're going to do some shaping after we've added our stem. There we go. And now this is the bottom of your crab apple, so don't worry if it's not like absolutely perfect. We're going to slip stitch around the posts of the previous stitches. So easy peasy, you just find the next stitch, stick your hook in through that stitch, and then shove it out underneath the next stitch, and that'll grab the post of that stitch, pull it up on your hook, and you can just slip stitch around it. Same thing, into the next stitch, just poke your needle out or your hook out through the next stitch, and then slip stitch around the post. And this is just a nice way to kind of close in that little hole or that little space at the bottom. You can do as many of these or as few of these as you need. I'm going to try and do all 6, maybe 5, doesn't matter. Then, that should be mostly closed in. Leave yourself 15 centimeters, 6 inches, somewhere around there. Fasten off. If you've still got a little bit of, say, a space open or something, take your needle and thread up that tail and just pull it through a few of those stitches, like you're cinching, and just kind of pull it. That'll cinch it up, and don't worry, that's the bottom. That's how it's going to wind up looking. So you're not going to notice the cinching, the slip stitches, nothing. It's going to disappear. So that's what it looks like right now. That's what it's going to look like. A ding ding. Cherry, how appropriate. We're making crab apples and cherries here. Hey, Cherry Bee. Cherry Bee has been a member for 52 months. Thank you, Cherry. With a membership milestone, Cherry says, "Good afternoon, Ms. J and General G. Happy Monday." Happy Monday indeed. Love it. So we're just going to let that tail dangle for a minute. You don't have to do anything else. Turn it right side up so that you're looking at the top of your little crab apple, and that's row 1 up there, nice and neat and tidy. And now we're going to grab a little bit of brown or green or beige or whatever you've got. You need basically a yard. You don't need very much. And it doesn't have to be fancy yarn. This has got a little bit of a kinky wiggle to it. A kinky wiggle. Okay, I know. Second that left my mouth, it sounded ridiculous. But this is just a size 3 lightweight yarn. It's kind of one of those funny yarns I picked up at a dollar store an eon ago, and I only ever pull it out and use it when I need like a little tiny bit of something. Makes good doll hair, for example, but in this case I only need about a yard of a little bit of brown, so this little bit of wiggle isn't going to interrupt my stitches. But if you've got plain straight yarn, that's fine. If it's a bit of a wiggle, that's okay too. Little sip of my tea. All right. Start with a little slip knot on our hook. We're just making a simple little stem. There's your first row, the top middle of your little crab apple. You're going to grab a stitch in that first row. Get underneath the loop of it in that first row, maybe right through the middle. See what you can get your hook under. Oh, that might be a little better over there. You don't need to do the whole stitch, just a loop. It's a sign of a good bit of stitching if your stitches are nice and tight. Come here, you. There we go. All right. Slip your hook under a loop or a stitch in that first row. You're going to anchor your brown yarn. This is for the stem. And again, don't worry if it pulls on you. We're not done yet. Slip stitch to join. We're going to chain 3. Not too tight, not too loose. Skip the first chain and slip stitch into both the second chain from the hook, the third chain from the hook, and that brings you all the way back to where you just joined your yarn. Slip your hook into that same place, slip stitch to join, snip your yarn. You don't need much tail at all. Fasten off. Take those 2 little ties and knot them together. Do it twice. You don't have to do this, but you might as well since both those little ends are right there. Then you're going to thread them up and pull them down into the body of the apple. So I usually just take my needle, stick it all the way through the little crab apple, grab both of those tails, plunk them through the little eye there, and pull them in. And then I'm just going to wiggle my needle back and forth, grabbing those little tails. And I'm going to do that until I wiggle them all the way back into the body. So now you've got sort of a misshapen crab apple. Crab apples come in different sizes and shapes. You might find that you can sort of still see the base of your little stem, but that's okay, because you'll notice we're going to get to this. Now we come back to that little tail that we left on the bottom of our apple. Thread it up in your yarn needle. We're going to go right through the bottom middle, right up through the top middle. And remember, you've got stuffing in there, so wiggle your needle there gently. Pull that tail all the way through to the top. Give it a little bit of a tug. You're going to go over a stitch. So you've come out through the middle, you're going to go over a stitch, wiggle yourself all the way back down and out through the bottom middle, more or less. And pull tight. Not too tight. You don't have to like squish it flat, but just pull so that you start to get a little bit of a crab apple shape going. Hop over a stitch down here, go back out through the top middle, somewhere near the stem. I use the stem as kind of a visual indicator. Hop over a stitch and go back down through to the middle bottom. And you're just going to keep doing that. Once, twice, 3 times, at least twice. 3 times might be perfect. 4 times might be what you need. I'm going to do it once more here. But as many times as you want to just get a bit of an apple, a little crab apple shape going. So a crab apple has a depression up at the top where the little stem comes out. And there's also a little bit of a depression in the bottom. Kind of like a real apple. Or a bigger apple. There we go. Then you can sort of squish it into shape. Once you're finished, make a little knot on the bottom. Just run your needle underneath a loop of a stitch. Make a little knot. I recommend doing it at least twice in the same place, just so that it doesn't want to undo on you. And then poke your needle into the body of the apple and weave it in. It acts like stuffing. Cherry Bee back in the chat with a super chat. Thank you, Cherry. Cherry says, I'm making the fall hat in Lion Brand pumpkin pie. Perfect. Perfect. Yes, our Friday video is a brand new hat. It's right here actually. This is our brand new hat. I love this. We're using that fun leaning block. Some people call it the drunken granny, but I've always known it as the leaning block. You can tell I'm covered in hair. You can tell I've been wearing it a lot. You can wear the little brim turned up or turned down. I've got this fun little added bit to it. You can also leave this off if you're making it for a guy and you want, or you just want a simpler, plainer edging to it. Anyway, we're going to come out this month. So October starts tomorrow. This month we're going to have a matching scarf and a matching pair of fingerless gloves for this little set as well. So really looking forward to that. And that is the Friday video we just had. So that's coming this October. This Friday is already Calendar Blanket Friday again. Is it just me or are the months moving faster than they normally do? So we're going to have the October square this Friday. Nice busy week. I don't know if any of you may have seen it or not. Last Wednesday, we had a little video out on adding crochet button loops to a project, the fabric project. I made some curtains here and I added crochet button loops to the little hanging tabs because my sewing machine broke and they just turned out so nicely. I thought I would share them with everybody. So if you're looking for a way to add crochet button loops to fabric or some kind of existing project, you might find that handy. So that also came out last week. Had a busy week last week. Oh, and of course we did this on Monday. We did this little cobweb on a pumpkin. All right, so I'm just pulling this in. You also can trim it if you have a whole lot of tail left, but I just like to use it as a little extra bit of stuffing. So there we go. There is our little crab apple. If you make this with a little kind of sparkly red yarn, I feel like these would be really cute hanging on the Christmas tree, but they're also just a cute little addition to your fall, Thanksgiving, you know, table decorations. The idea was suggested by Marilyn, who's been a longtime family member. She makes a lot of our little pumpkins and decided that she thought some little miniature apples would be useful too, and I couldn't agree more. So here we go. A little pile of crab apples. I think that they would also be kind of cute little keychains too, now that I think about it. Hey, Crocus! Crocus Connections! Crocus has been a member for 20 months. Thank you, Crocus. Crocus says, happy Monday. Jada and Mr. Love your perseverance. Thank you. Yes, it, you know what? Never say die. What's that? I'm sure you've all seen it. That poster with the heron has a frog in its mouth and the frog's trying to strangle the heron from inside the heron's mouth. And I think it's something like never give up. I love that. Yeah, so... We had a little technical difficulty. It's okay. We got through it. We got to our cute little crab apple tutorial. Here we go. We'll be removing the previous one because we don't want anybody to be confused by that. And also, last Monday we had a bit of a sound issue. Again, it's these cables we found out. So I think I edited last Monday's live stream to remove that little sound issue we had. So if any of you have a chance later today to pop back and check that out and tell me if it did work or not, because I'm not too familiar with the editing software on this end of YouTube. I don't use it very often, especially on live streams. So hopefully it worked. We'll find out though. And Trish! Hello, Trish! Welcome to Alpaca! Thank you for joining the family. How lovely. Thank you guys so much. If you'd like to pick up today's little tiny pattern, it's in the bargain pattern section of our Etsy shop. We'll leave a link in the description box. It's also, I think, at the top of the chat. It's just a cute little one-pager, easy to print, easy on the ink, and it's a nice little addition to your pattern library. Like I said, there's a lot of little ways you can use this. You know, perk up a friend's bad day with a little crab apple, turn them into decorations on the Christmas tree. You could hang them with a little bit of fishing wire or from the top of the little stem. Super cute. You could make it into a little keychain if you like. Also, if you want to get really fancy and use embroidery floss and like a 1.5 or a 2 millimeter steel hook, something super small, you could make yourself a pair of earrings. How super cute would that be? Ding ding, Summer! Hey, Summer! Summer's been a member for 65 months. My gosh, thank you so much, Summer. Summer says, hey, I'm working away on my costume. All right, the party is in 2 weeks. I'm finishing the Cult of the Lamb one finally. It's only been a year. You know? Woohoo! I'm looking forward to photos. And Tasha! Hey, Tasha. Tasha with a membership milestone as well. Tasha's been a member for 9 months. Love your lives. Do you have any patterns for backpacks? Specifically, no. Although I have made several in the past. Back before we had the channel, I made a whole bunch. I don't think I have any anymore. But yes, I would like to make a crochet backpack. I think that would be a handy little thing. It makes a good pattern and it makes a good project because sometimes you want to just throw on a bag, but you don't want to have it over your shoulder. So it's handier to have it hanging off the back. So yes, I'll add that back to the list. Thank you for the suggestion, Tasha. Oh my gosh, it's nice to have a nice cup of tea throughout the live. All right. Months, not a year. Almost, okay? Almost, sorry. Tease, tease, tease. Goodness gracious. All right, everybody. I think we'll call it there. It's been kind of an exciting day. Oh my gosh, there's Regina. The membership milestones are flying in. Regina, member for 8 months. Thank you, Regina. Says, oh wow. Has it been that long already? Well, Jane, I look forward to October Square. Have a lovely week. Yes, this Friday, it's Calendar Blanket Friday. Granny's Magical Cupboard is back in the house with the 10th Granny Square in this year's project. Looking forward to that myself. So that'll be this Friday. And like I said, we've got tutorials coming this month for matching scarf and gloves for this lovely cozy hat. I'm using the pumpkin spice color of the Pound of Love by Lion Brand for this. I love this acrylic yarn. It is so soft. I really like it. It's my new favorite acrylic. So I'm actually using some Pound of Love in this year's calendar blanket. The white that you see me using is Pound of Love as well. Really like it. Plus it's a gigantic ball of yarn, so I don't run out as quickly as I normally do. And tomorrow is October. Joanna's reminding us. Yes, I can't believe it. Tomorrow's October. Anywho, lots of fun to come in the month of October. Possibly my favorite month of the year. As I stare out the window towards the end of this live stream, the colors on the trees are changing. We're rather north and it's kind of been chilly, and we've got some green leaves, but we've got some orange and some yellow and some red, and they are floating down to still a vibrant green lawn below, and it's a bit breezy too, so it's got that slightly spooky vibe going. Mela has been a member for 31 months. Mela sneaking in at the end with a membership milestone, says, have a wonderful week all, and I totally second that. Mr. InStitches is exhausted from playing with the tech all day, so I'm going to give him a break. I know there's nothing else to add. I will see you guys.
I'm gonna put in my resignation.
You're putting in your resignation. I totally hear that, sweetheart. Thank you for your perseverance. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us and for coming back. We will see you guys Friday, if not before. Keep an eye on the community tab for some fun posts, and we'll see you soon. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe and crafty, guys.